We back. Thank y'all for tuning back into your favorite channel, Pelican Bay Dog Talk and News for the Day. Giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to drop down in the comments. Salute to all the brothers and sisters that's down in the chat. Salute to all my bulldoggers and all my dog lovers from one side of the country to the other side of the world. Let's get into that dog news and talk for the day, because we got some news to talk about. So let's get into it. Now let's jump straight into that dog talk. We talking about Mayday, Barracuda, Big John. So let's talk about Barracuda a little bit. I did find that he had one grand champion. We're going to call him the baby Rolling Stone, because Mayday was the Rolling Stone. Like I told you, wherever he laid his hat was his home. Barracuda, the baby Rolling Stone. 2,000 breeders between the two of them. We got one grand champion off Barracuda, and a lot of the champions that's coming down off Barracuda is coming down either from CMLs, Latin Force, or one of the brothers connected to that kennel. So it goes back to the statement when brothers always saying, where are the champions of these dogs? Why are they the only ones to have them? Why are they the only ones to have them? Where are the champions? Why I can't seem to? Why aren't y'all asking the same exact questions to every single one of these famous dog kennels out here now that's selling dogs? You should be asking Tom Garner that. You should be asking Macho Buck that. You should be asking Puma that. You should be asking Corota that. You should be asking all these dogs. Recall Buck. You should be asking all these dog people where the champions for all these dogs, especially the ones that's creeping up on the dang on rum list. Where the champions that don't come from the breeders. But you find a way to pick on Big John. You can't stop excellence, man. Supreme, tell them about that, fam. They can't stop excellence, man. It just is what it is. It is what it is. Now, while we talking about these dogs, I got to mention something else. Because, see, you remember I was telling y'all brothers about how folks start talking about and crying about tearing black this down and tearing that down, and tearing this down. But let me ask you this. What do y'all think about these brothers who don't try to better their reputation? And I'm not talking about no particular person. Don't try to better your reputation, and yet you mentioning dog kennel names of brothers who still got dogs in modern day time. And you over here talking about all this and all that. So you think that's right for you to be carrying your channel in that way, and yet talking about people who got dogs right now? You think that's right? But you don't see all that. You want to see what you want to see. You want to see what you want to see. See, Lord working mysterious ways, because a lot of my white brothers ain't going to say it to you. So he put a black brother to say it to you. See? All that Carolina Classic, all that stuff, all that confusion from the Carolina Classics, getting this brother dog took, getting that brother dog took. Your own people. You see? You don't want that news. You want that BS. You know what I'm saying? You want the BS. But hey, it is what it is. Like I tell you, some gonna like it, some ain't. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Barracuda. Mentioning Barracuda with Mayday. Mentioning Barracuda with Big John. Excuse me. Big John finished all his shows in short fashion. Short, impressive fashion. Big John was a 3. Barracuda was a 7 or a 9 or something. Somewhere around that area. Somewhere. I lost count. But one thing I know, two things for sure. You need to start asking some of these dog brothers where they champions. Who got the champions off these dogs? Who got the champions off them Eli dogs? I've been asking y'all that for months now. Who got the great dogs off every bloodline? You're around here worrying about one line of dogs or some brothers that mastered their line, and you got a nerve to hate on it, but you won't hate on the lines that's all screwed up. You won't ask about that, You won't ask about none of that stuff. All right, you want me to lay off that Barracuda stuff and the Mayday stuff when you got all them breeders and we only got a handful of champions and grand champions? Majority of them come from the camps that own them dogs. You want me to lay off of them, I'm going to go to Sambo's stories. Because I tell you, man, I never, and I put this on everything when it comes to my dogs, I never picked them up to scratch from an out-of-hold call. He never had an out-of-hold call on him, period. Never, ever. And I want to send a big shout out to my brothers in Maxton, North Carolina area. Big shout out to Tank, the dog Tank from way back in the days. And I want to send y'all a shout out for cheating me that day. Big shout out to you for cheating me that day. I would like a refund 30 years later, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. It makes good stories to talk about. Makes good stories to talk about. And now that I look back on it, that's why the referee was on me. Grab him. I'm going to foul you out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Like, the referee had total pressure on me because I didn't know the referee had conditioned the dog. But it's all good, man. I win by default. On that. It's all good. It's just, like I said before, it makes for a good story for me to tell brothers, for you to pay attention to this type of stuff. Well, you can't pay attention to it now in the same way we could back then, but brothers still send their dogs off to get conditioned for ADBA shows and different kind of shows. It just depends on what you're going to. But you just gotta pay attention to things, man. Pay attention to things and ask the people that when you ask these questions about these dogs, how many of these dogs have they ever dealt with? How many of these dogs have they ever had? And I'm, like I always say, I'm a firm believer. I don't speak on bloodlines, whether it's down or up, if I haven't seen them or at least had some type of interaction with them. You know what I'm saying? Some type of interaction. You can't knock a dog until you had it, and taking grown dogs from brothers, when you buying grown dogs from brothers, you get what you get. Sometimes you get great dogs. Sometimes you get whatever you had. You know what I'm saying? When you raise puppies, it's a whole lot higher chance that you could take a dog that's not even from that particular bloodline that you loving, and you still will do it because you getting them from a puppy and you raising them up. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. A dog can be, you can bring the best out of some of the weak stuff, when you raise them up from puppies and you raise them right. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how that dog feeling at the end of the day and how you make that dog feel outside of his genetic makeup. You know what I'm saying? He can be built like a stack house genetically wise. Genetically wise, he's supposed to be a grand champion. But emotional, the way his owner got him feeling, he feel like a cur. He feel like a loser. See, you can't win today's game with yesterday's points. That's why I tell you, if y'all lot of y'all old school doggers ain't willing to advance yourself, for modern day times, what you got to offer? What good are you to the system? What good are you to the game when you can use none of that to this modern day times? And we can laugh and he and giggle about all that. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, nothing to offer. I want to send a big shout out to P&M Kennels, Bear Gordy, Florida Outlaw, Samurai Kennels, Brick Soldier Kennels, David Morris, Luca Brasi, Paris Jackson, Eli Monster, Hunt Down Kennels, Liquid Lucky, Jay's Moonlight, Supreme Excellence. Salute to all my brothers, City Boy Kennels, Marcel Shepard. You know what I'm saying? Salute to all the Bulldoggers, man. Mr. 216, Mr. Big. Salute to all the Bulldoggers. You know. See, before Bo went to Split Is, before Bo went to Split Is, I had done hollered at Crossroad already. I was trying to take him into Fatty, his own father. I tried to take him into the Stoley dog that he had, and plus Lock and Load. Crossroad was into. That's after he was getting out the game, kind of. I didn't know he was getting out the game, but he had other plans at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So he wasn't really paying attention to what I was talking about. And then I just got a piece of Split Is. But before him, I was trying to take Bo back into his daddy. And Lock and Load dog that beat a lot of y'all famous dog men, old lion-ass dog men around here. I was trying to get them dogs. They ain't want none of Sambo. I know for a fact he would have beat his daddy. I stand on that. And now I'm going to say it again. In this area, not this city, but this entire area, the Toe Jam dog was made famous by Sambo. It was not another Toe Jam dog that touched this area that did what Sambo did. Not another one. Not saying that it wasn't great Toe Jam dogs out there, but Bo was over great. It wasn't. Bo set the caliber high for them Toe Jam dogs. And the only reason Fatty was doing what he did is because Eric was already in the Chitlin circuit. Crossroad was already in the Chitlin circuit. You know what I'm saying? But see, when things happen, it shifts history. See, when Eric got busted, the helicopters landed in his yard and all that, and he decided to sell Fatty and sell the whole yard, if that wouldn't have happened, you can bet your bottom dollar that he would have capitalized off me and Sambo. You can bet your bottom dollar you would have knew about Bo, especially after Barracuda beat Fatty. He would have got Bo. He wouldn't have got Bo. He would have got me to get Bo, and he would have went back with him. Not necessarily the Barracuda, but he'd have went back to that camp again. See, when I got Bo was during the time when Crossroad was going through a whole bunch of things. You know what I'm saying? I got Bo before he started going through the things. And then as Bo started getting, I got Bo at 11 months old. And then maybe by the time Bo was about a year and a few months, things started crumbling down for Crossroad. So by the time Bo got about 2 years old, he was done making changes to, to get out the game. You know what I'm saying? And, it just where it shift history for that particular dog. And it actually shift history for Crossroad as well, because I always say this, if he would have stayed a little while longer, seeing how Bo went out there and did it, he would have, things would have changed. You know what I'm saying? Things would have changed, rather. I'm going to say it like that. I'm just going to leave it like that. Things would have been different. Things would have been different. But you can't go off for a what if, and if this wouldn't happen or that wouldn't happen. Things happen for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Things happen for a reason. And without Crossroad, I still went on to do what I needed to do, with that dog. You know what I'm saying? Not only did he stop multiple Big John dogs, but he stopped multiple dogs that was half brothers to him, coming down off Fatty and the Frisco stuff. Fatty, Toe Jam and the Chinaman dog, directly off of Chinaman daughters and Toe Jam. Like, he stopped multiple dogs off Bully Son. Tight bred Bully Son dogs. The Bully Son dog really didn't give him no kind of competition. I can remember that clear as day. The Bully Son dog was fat, though. He was a little fat, but he didn't give him no competition at all. Let me see, his hardest competitions was, I'm talking about, when I say hardest, I mean blow for blow. We going blow for blow, pound for pound, the whole 45, 50 minutes or something like that. It was a red boy Jocko coming off the Cottenham Sheba stuff that was bred to a termite dog, termite female. The offspring of that one was named Esco. You know, Esco was one of Sambo's hardest matches back then. I remember clear as day thinking Bo about to lose this. You know, he about to lose it because it just was going pound for pound. It seemed like that dog wasn't stopping. And then, see, now this dog that I'm telling you about, that was Bo Hardest show, this dog is a descendant, the offspring of the dog that I told y'all about, the crazy red-nosed puppy I had back in the 90s coming down off the Cottenham Sheba stuff that was scratched from across the street. That dog was a descendant of that. Bred to some termite stuff, you know. Bred to some termite stuff. All right. So it's basically Red Boy Jocko termite going back into Red Boy Jocko Jeep. Or Red Boy Jeep and Jocko, however you want to put it. All right. That was one of his hardest shows. Another one of his hardest shows was against Hardwood. Hardwood. It wasn't a hard show, but it was a interesting show. It was a rather interesting show. You know, it wasn't a boring show, rather I should say. And Hardwood was coming down off Champion Hickory. You know, Hardwood was coming off Hickory. Although Bo did outsport a Hickory dog earlier in his career, when he first started, he was a little bit bigger than that Hickory dog. Hardwood was more, you know, level off with Bo. Him and Bo was the same size, you know. But like I always say, I was 19, 18. I had a dog that couldn't be stopped. And if you looked at the dog and felt like your dog can take him, I didn't stop you. You know what I'm saying? I didn't stop you. I don't care if you want to think your little 35-pounder can do something. Bring him. You know, it was what it was. Bo scaled from all levels of the game. You know, all levels of the game. Chain accidents, DOA'd them. You know what I'm saying? You don't want your dog no more? Bring him to Bo. DOA him. You know, he had a few of them. Them boys just ain't want their dogs no more. Take them over, throw them over there in Bo chain reach. You know, give him 5 minutes, he'll be gone. You know, when they do them like that, it don't even last as long as a regular show lasts. Because it's like Bo know they just bringing them in just to get rid of them. You know, he go in. Boop, 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 boop. You know, let's see here. Who else? Yeah, it wasn't that one with split ears. That I don't consider that a hard one. I consider that one that I went in like a dummy. I went in blind. I went in green. I went in talking too much. You know what I'm saying? And you know, my dog was never hurt. My dog wasn't hollering. My dog was like, he was puzzled. You know, he never been on a back end dog of that style. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention, split ears was a tad bit heavier than Sambo. So when he got in the back end, he was able to lay on Bo and keep Bo on the ground and stay in the back end while Bo, you know, Bo was like, I told y'all before, he was a lay down dog. And he was smart. And if you had so much strength, he'll lay down and just wait it out sometime and then come on back and just take you on out. You know? And this is one of them situations. I knew what Sambo was doing. I knew that he was going to try to lay there and wait it out. Because it wasn't hurting him. He wasn't making no noise. He wasn't giving no kind of eye signals like he ready to quit or none of that. You know, he was just looking like he was confused. Like, what are you back there doing? And while he was doing that, his back end was swelling up. You know, and I never heard a whimper from him, never seen a turn from him. To this day, he still never turned. You know, I say, oh man, that's enough. Let me go pick him up. You know, and see, we can argue one way and we can argue the other way. But see, I was greenhorn when I went in there talking that talk and put my dog on the wrong dog. But see, I'd have been extra greenhorn if I'd have stayed in there with too much pride and act like I couldn't pick up my dog. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what kind of dog I got. You see? Knowing what kind of dog I got. I never seen Bo go at a dog that wasn't a pit bull. Like, I can't recall him going at house dogs and stuff like that. I can't say he didn't, but I just don't recall it, to my memory. Like I said, I had 1 or 2 chicken accidents with Bo. 1 yard accident with Bo. 1 yard man got bit by Bo. One of my yard men got bit by Bo, trying to untangle him from around a tree, and he was pulling Bo, and Bo was trying to back away from him, and he kept pulling Bo chain. And he got down to pull the chain around the tree, and Bo launched up there and hit him with a snap, basically like a curb bite or something. Hit him with one of them in the face, and he had to get stitches. Bo was back there on the chain when I had a problem with the boy who robbed me one time, and he called me back, and I had to get him back because he didn't know I knew he robbed me, and I found out who it was, so I called him. He came to the crib. We got to the backyard where I wanted to get him at. We ran that thing on him, Bo was back there then. He ran over towards Bo. Bo was trying to get to him because it's like Bo can feel my vibe, So Bo was trying to get to him, but he really wasn't trying to get to him. He was looking like standing over there looking all big and shit. But me and that brother, like best friends now. We cool as hell. When you have situations, you don't dwell on that stuff. Whenever things happen, but if you blessed to make it through it, you don't dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? And I just brought it up because it was during the time when I had Bo, and during that time, Bo was tied up on I was using zip cables from one tree to the next tree and have a little short chain and let them run back and forth or whatever. Like I always say, Bo never really had a chance to experience the times when I was buying the dog trotter treadmills and the fancy stuff. Them was more the big John dogs when I had them dogs. Bo never experienced that. I had a piece of shit treadmill with Sambo. The best dog I ever had in my life. I had the worst equipment in my life. You know what I'm saying? Homemade this, homemade that. Making this work, improvising with this, making this happen. But I didn't let that stop me, from going to the best of the best. You know what I'm saying? And ask anybody that was around me then or met me when I had Bo and ask them, did I play the fear game? The fear factor. The picking and choosing. You know what I'm saying? The picking and choosing. All you had to do is say you wanted smoke and act like you wanted it. I didn't give you time enough to back out. I'm about to show you something. Keep your mouth shut today. You know what I'm saying? It's just one thing I hate. I didn't get a chance to take Bo, to a certain part of South Carolina that I wish I would have took him to. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would have took him to so them brothers could have experienced greatness, in the making at that time. You know what I'm saying? And know what I'm talking about ain't cap. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm talking about ain't cap. Because, man, I had thousands of dogs. You don't hear me talking about the rest of them. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them was good. A lot of them was good. I just, it just, if you want me to give you the real, I got to give you the real. You know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about that Mayday stuff. I had a bunch of that Mayday stuff when I had Bo. We had one that was coming off the Mayday dog. I sold him to my boy Nitty. His name was Loghead. Low front end, back end. You know what I'm saying? Ended up being a pretty decent dog. Had a pretty decent mouth on him. You know what I'm saying? But he wasn't that one. He wasn't even I'm gonna put it like this. He wasn't a 7. He was a high 6. You know what I'm saying? He was a high 6. But yeah, man, had plenty of them dogs, man. Plenty of them dogs. Sambo third was against Mayday grandson. Bred back to I want to say a stiletto, that crossroads stiletto stuff. I want to say Mayday grandson on top and the stiletto stuff on the bottom. But it just is what it is, man. You can't win today's game with yesterday's score. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it with yesterday's points. No matter what it is, man, you got to update what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that if you can't update what you're doing, you just basically like you say, a old schooler that don't want to let go. Some things you just got to let go, man. You know, some things you got to let go. It's more to updating yourself in time than learning how to work a computer, learning how to get online and talk about a bunch of bullshit. You know, it's more to keeping up with time than just learning how to press computer buttons. Because, see, a lot of people incorporate pushing computer buttons into their dog program. And that's what we call Twitter fingers, Twitter gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Twitter dog men, Facebook dog men, Facebookers. You know? And it isn't no disrespect to none of my brothers who make posts on Facebook, because I ain't talking about y'all. I'm talking about them Facebook gangsters, Facebook gangster dog men, and the Facebook gangsters. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, little do you know, my brothers, when you start doing these YouTube channels, you're going to run across them all. The Facebook gangsters, the Facebook gangster dog men, you know, the Facebook historical dog men, the Facebook Maurice Carvers, the Facebook tutors. You know, you're going to run across them all. Some of them good brothers, you know. Some of them lie a lot. They still good brothers. They just lie a lot. Then you got some that's just snakes. You know, it just is what it is, man. I'm going to give it to you, fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. It ain't our fault that Big John stuff wasn't as accessible as that Mayday stuff, because them boys were spreading it all across the country like white on rice. They were spreading it across the country. So that's why a lot of brothers was able to get that strain of yellow stuff. We stayed away from that strain of yellow stuff because we had our own strain of yellow stuff that we was running. You know? The Mayday stuff it got popular over the last 10 years, but in our area, you know, it wasn't popular, and them boys stayed away. All them boys that was dealing with that Mayday stuff, they didn't come in this area. I don't know. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to take that back. They came in this area, but the Mayday dogs were not popular. You would rather have an Eli dog than a dang on Mayday dog. You know? You would rather have one. See, one thing about an Eli dog, if I look at him and he's energetic and he's like ready to grab the flirt pole and all that type of stuff, I kind of know where I can take this dog at. You know what I'm saying? I kind of know what I can do with this dog. That Mayday stuff, you don't know what the hell that shit gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Now, it looked good, you know, but the thing is, you can't knock a bloodline because Mayday is a great dog. Barracuda, great dog, produced great dogs, both dogs. Big John, great dog, produced great dogs. The thing is, when you see brothers up here that be overhyping stuff, when they really have no tie-ins to that dog, you know, have no tie-ins to it. What them brothers did by breeding the brat or breeding any of their dogs to make Mayday, breeding the Mayday to make their dogs, is no different than what they did when they went to breed the Little John and went to breed this, that, and this and that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said before, we don't get gassed up off pictures with dog men in it with dogs that we don't know what's what. You know, if I'm going to take a picture with something, I'm going to take a picture with Mayday breeding in my dog. What good is a picture of Victor with Mayday in my dog? That ain't going to do me no good. But don't get gassed up off that, my young gunners. You know, these old school ass dog men washed up, doing everything they can to survive. You know, doing everything they can to survive. But like Pro say, slap them with them pedigrees, slap them with that dog talk, that modern day dog talk. You gotta leave them they can't talk modern day dog talk. They stuck in the past. Old stuck in the past ass twins. You know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. PBK9's gonna give it to you. I got more dog talk and dog news Let's keep that thing rolling, man. Let's keep that thing rolling. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. Don't forget to hit it. Now, let's talk about having bulldogs and partway, halfway dogs. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, ask y'all brothers down in the chat, y'all sisters down in the chat, an honest question. If you really got a dog that's a real for show finisher, would steroids even come to your mind? Now, I'm on an honest answer. Would steroids even come to your mind if your dog is a for show finisher? Okay then. Yeah. See, some things it ain't hard to tell, man. It's a difference between a good dog and a great dog and the truth. A bulldog. It's a difference, man. It's a difference. If your dog is a for sure finisher, it'll never even cross your mind to put them on any kind of drugs that'll turn them to something you ain't sure what he gonna do. You know what I'm saying? If he a for sure finisher already, and I'm gonna tell you like this right here. You can't call your dog an ace if he on steroids. If your dog is on steroids, you can't call him an ace because an ace is genetic, supposed to be genetics in that dog, making him do that. You can't call your dog an ace if he's on drugs. You can't call your dog an ace if you using something to help him perform. An ace does it naturally. See? So we can cancel a lot of brothers out of this ace talk when we talk steroids. Because if you use steroids on your dog cannot be considered an ace. And I don't give a damn what kennel it is, big kennel, little kennel. If your dog was on steroids, you cannot call him an ace. I don't care how many he won. Now, I'm going to take that slightly back. If your dog win all his shows, never use a steroid, and then say he on 7 and 8, and then you tried it, yeah, that's different. But this ain't the kind of talk we talking about. We talking about brothers who using it from day one. Can be considered an ace, man. So now, the people that I'm speaking to, the crowd is getting smaller. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to talk to somebody who had aces. A lot of dog brothers shot that thing up. Thought they had great dogs. They might be had grand champions. They might be had this. But at the end of the day, man, there was no rules in the pit bull game that'll get you disqualified for using that. Nobody cared about that. But when it comes to sports, it is common sense if you use steroids to win, then it ain't the same. It is not the same. Now, I know I'm going to get some comments on that. Y'all brothers who use them steroids and thought y'all had aces. Listen here, common sense tell you, man, how can you say your dog is an ace performer if you're using something to help his performance? So let's cut all them dogs out of the ace program that use steroids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to say y'all wasn't great dogs. I ain't going to say y'all didn't deserve y'all win, but you can't be considered an ace unless you did everything natural. I don't care what sport you was in, boxing, football, wrestling, whatever. If you're going to be considered the best, and you get found as you was on roids, all that get took away. All of it get took away. So yeah, next time we start talking about aces, and brothers start talking about aces, ask them if they ever used steroids before on that same dog. Then you gonna wonder if you really had one. You see, ace, the word ace, it takes away steroid. It takes away all the bullshit. It takes away rub. You don't think about rub when you got an ace. You know what I'm saying? The word ace eliminates everything that you would have did to cheat or to get the upper edge. The word ace means exactly what it says. An ace. One that can't be stopped. And a lot of brothers had some out there. A lot of brothers had some. And just like it went down in my days, you know, I feel like during the Sambo time, within I'm gonna say 75-mile radius, I feel like he was one of top 5 bulldogs during his time within 75-mile radius. You know, any direction, north, south, east, or west. I feel like he was in top 5 bulldogs, during his time. Hold up, man. Let me get them boys a break for a second and let's go to this news. We got 2 North Carolina men arrested, arrested for trafficking 19 malnutritious puppies, a 2-year-old little girl, and guns in the car. And I think they was caught in New York, But we're going to go straight to this news clipping and we can talk about it when it's done.
19 pit bull puppies are expected to be okay tonight after they were rescued from a car on Long Island. Take a look at these little guys. They were spotted in a car by a Suffolk County police officer overnight while on patrol in Wyandanch. They were in 2 crates without sufficient air, shelter, food, or water. Police searched the vehicle and found 2 loaded guns. They arrested 2 men from North Carolina. A 2-year-old child was with them. The toddler is now in protective custody.
I want to send a RIP, to a brother that lost his life from my side, you know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying this, he was a good brother, and as well, he was involved with one of the stories that I gave y'all a while back. I'm not sure if any of y'all remember when I told you about the story when I was real young, and I had a problem with a guy who had owed me money. Well, he was the dude that had owed me a couple of dollars, and I was going to take the dog, go up to the house, and let the dog in, and go in, Wild Wild West style. And the dog was a human aggressive dog named Rock. He was from Flatbush, Brooklyn. I was going to take him in, run him up in there, let him go, and do my thing or whatever. But, like I told y'all, I met one of my homeboys on the way, and then we end up just going to get into a fight with the brothers, some of his folk, which turned out a whole lot better. And at the end of the day, like I always tell you, when things happen, they happen, but you don't harbor a whole hate year after year after year after year. You know what I'm saying? Me and the brother got cool, plenty cool. But I just had to say a RIP to him because, one of the stories that I did tell was involving him. And that just goes back to tell brothers, man, life is too short, to be out here lying and talking about this and talking about that. Make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Make it happen. That's all it is to it. Making it happen. All right, before I get up off that Mayday, Big John Barracuda stuff, I will say this, when it comes to breeding and offspring, Mayday, no matter how great of a dog he is, he would not have changed history in the pit bull game the way his daddy did, Grand Champion Yellow, with less breedings. Yellow was a whole lot different dog. Not saying Mayday wasn't great, not saying Mayday may have, like I said before, out-hunted Yellow. But as an all-around dog, Mayday and his offspring could not have made the mark in history like Yellow did when Yellow was created. It would not have made the same mark. It just is what it is. You got to call it how you see it, and it could be considered opinionated because it is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's not facts about it. It's just my opinion. So no need for no Mayday breeders or Yellow breeders to get mad about anything. It's all opinionated. And like I say, we talk about one line today, talk trash about another on tomorrow. That's just the way it go in the dog shop, dog talk, barbershop talk. That's just how it go. We talk good about these dogs today and we talking about they off something else tomorrow. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But a fact, almost a proven fact can't be proven now. But Mayday ain't made the mark Yellow made. Mayday didn't make the mark Yellow made. Maybe he made the mark if you was used to dealing with something else. You know what I'm saying? And then you finally got a Mayday dog. And like I said, the Mayday dogs was a whole lot more easy to get than them Yellow dogs that was still in South Carolina. Mayday dogs was a hell of a lot easier to get. Hell of a lot easier to get than them other Yellow dogs. But hey, it is what it is, man. Y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there. Like I always say, we don't condone anything illegal. PB Canines, and I'm out.